Delighted to be joined over the phone also by Dr. Ahmad Khattab, the political analyst. Good evening, doctor.
Good evening to all of you.
Thank you for joining us on Nile TV International and this special coverage. So, Dr. Ahmad, you followed the talks between the U.S. President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. To what extent do you consider these talks fruitful concerning the Iran war?
Yes, the U.S.-China summit included also main objective related and the main negotiation main point to Egypt and the Middle East and the special Strait of Hormuz. The main outcome of the U.S.-China summit between Donald Trump and the President of China focused on three major files. First file, trade and economic competition. Second, Taiwan and the Strait revival in Asia and Russia. Third file, the Middle East crisis, especially the Strait of Hormuz. What is remarkable is that both Washington and China agree that the Strait of Hormuz must remain open to guarantee the free flow of the global energy. And this is also will lead to more profitability for Egypt because Egypt will go back to the normal revenue of the Suez Canal corridor and the Suez Canal logistics area. Also, this is significant because the U.S. and China are strategic competitors, yet both recognize that instability in Hormuz Strait could damage the global economy. And why does the Strait of Hormuz matter? The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most important energy checkpoint. Nearly 1/5 of the global oil and the gas shipments pass through it. Any disruption immediately impact oil prices will be increased. Inflation rate will be increased, global shipping will be affected, and energy security will be instability. China depends heavily on Gulf energy import, while the United States wants to prevent the global economic shock before election in USA and aim at a free market. China trying to be balanced several interests. One, maintaining a strong tie with Iran because Iran make export to China to all liquid oil and gas, and in the same time avoiding direct confrontation with the United States because the relationship between China and the United States is a strategic relationship and the volume of trade between the two countries is a huge. Protection its energy imports because China depends mainly in Gulf and OGC country imported liquid gas and oil. Presenting itself as a principal global power. Also, China called for de-escalation and the ceasefire while avoiding direct criticism of either Iran or U.S. The Americans are pressuring China to use its influence over Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and this is also will be a very positive point to the summit.
But what motivates China, Doctor? What motivates China to put pressure on Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, although the Iranian oil reaches China?
But not like before of the close. Still now, between liquid gas and fuel from Iran exported to China, but it faced some challenge, and the insurance of all ships increased by 200%, especially. And China in need not only of oil and gas from Iran, but also need oil and gas from Saudi Arabia and from Kuwait and from Qatar, especially Qatar have a majority of liquid gas. So Egypt also, for Egypt, implications are extremely important. Suez Canal revenue, once the Strait of Hormuz will be opened, it will be increased. Any disruption in Hormuz affecting shipping flow towards the Suez Canal. So we hope to open the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. I think if regional tension also escalation, shipping costs rise because the insurance of ships will increase. Insurance premium increase. Some also global trade slow, and in Egypt we need to increase the volume of trade through the Suez Canal corridor and the Suez Canal logistics area. That directly impacts the Suez Canal revenue and the global supply chain. Energy price will go back to very low price once the Strait of Hormuz is open. Egypt affected by fluctuation in oil and gas, Higher oil price created pressure on the Egyptian budget, inflation risk, increased import costs, but they can also improve the financial position of the Gulf ally, supporting the regional economy. Egypt's trade role, the crisis increased Egypt's geopolitical value because Cairo is viewed as a stabilizing regional actor, a mediator, and the guarantee of the key maritime trade routes through the Suez Canal corridor. Egypt benefits diplomatically whenever major powers seek regional stability. The estimation also the summit shows that the Middle East remain central to the global power politics. Energy security is back at the center of the global diplomacy. China is becoming a more involved in the Middle East security issue. The U.S.-China evil does not prevent technical cooperation when global markets are threatened. I think the Strait of Hormuz is no longer just a regional issue. It has become a global pressure point linking Washington and China, Tehran, the Gulf, and even the Suez Canal. And what happens there will shape energy price, inflation, and the geopolitical stability worldwide. Despite their strategic value, both the United States and China now understand that instability in the Middle East threats the entire global economy, and Egypt remains at the heart of the question. Egypt, more data, land, time, more than, and I think Egypt will play a very effective role in stability in the Strait of Hormuz and in all Middle East. U.S. and China summit, Egypt, the Middle East, and Strait of Hormuz. China summit come at a highly sensitive geopolitical moment. The world is facing a strategic challenge between Washington and China, ongoing tension with Iran, instability in the global energy market, pressure on maritime trade routes, concern about inflation and recession. What makes this summit particularly important is that it's linked the Pacific directly with the Middle East and the global energy flow. The Strait of Hormuz become one of the central strategic topic because both the United States and China understand that any military action or escalation there could stop the global economic shock. And I think U.S. and China are no longer competing only economically. They're competing now include technology, artificial intelligence, military influence, supply chain, energy security, maritime routes. However, despite this rival, both countries still need each other to prevent the global instability. The summit, therefore, reflects a dual reality: a strategic competition combined with selective cooperation. This is now the defining feature of the international system.
Yes, Doctor. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he discussed lifting U.S. sanctions imposed on Chinese companies buying Iranian oil during his visit to China and will make a decision soon. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think President Trump in this visit to China play a very diplomatic role. It's the first time I see President Trump speak in a very politely way and very wisdom way. Why? Because I think President Donald Trump knows 100% that China is a very strong country in military and in economically and in supply chain and also in relation with all Middle East country and GCC countries, especially Iran. So because of this, Donald Trump all time tried to lead China to accept to stop war in the Middle East and in the same time open the Strait of Hormuz and in the same time increase the mutual of trade between China and U.S. company because the two countries in need of the cooperation. Why? Because the world after the Strait of Hormuz closed and after the Iran, USA and Israel war, inflation rate in all over the world increase and the market depression take place in many different countries. But now Donald Trump tried to control the economic crisis related to the war and tried to lead China to be cooperative with America in order to stop all the nuclear power fire related to Iran, and also create that the Strait of Hormuz should be open all
achieved,
time.
Doctor? How can China do this, and how can this be achieved, putting pressure on Iran, not only for opening the Strait of Hormuz, but concerning the nuclear file, which is a red line for Iran?
Nuclear file, Iran have a strong bilateral relation with Iran. Why? Because there's a lot of cooperation in many different files, in the file of military force, in the file of oil and gas, in the file of trade and shipping. And Iran needs to be covered by key countries like China and Russia, and it will respect the advice presented from the China president, because Iran, after this war, very, very weak economically and military also, and in need of support of any key country. Even Pakistan try all time to support Iran and they make a stabilization and they make the balance between Iran and USA and Israel, but till now Pakistan is a normal country, but Israel is a key country in the world. And I think President Donald Trump go to Israel, go to China, because China is a key country, especially it's a member on G8 and a member in BRICS and a member in many different international community, and they have a very strong economic position, and this will be respected in Middle East, and have a strong bilateral tie and relation with all the countries and all the key country in the Middle East, in Africa, especially Egypt, in the same time. So because of this, the United States has several objectives: protect global energy market. Washington wants to avoid sharp increase in oil price, global inflation to be decreased instead of increased, economic stability, especially before election and during this time, preserve freedom of navigation. The U.S. Navy see itself as the guarantee of the international maritime security, and this is also will be key main. American military credibility. Washington also global trade stability. Washington in need of the global trade stability. Preserve Iran indirectly. Washington is trying to use diplomacy and international pressure to reduce Iran escalation without entering a direct regional war, because now President Donald Trump needs to stop war in the Middle East. I think this summit will be a successful summit, and I hope the war will be stopped in the Middle East. China may actually be more economically valuable than the United States regional Hormuz, and I think supply chain will go back to the normal before the close of the Strait of Hormuz. In the same time, the very strong relation between U.S. and China will go back to a normal, stable volume, because we see in this summit harmony between the two presidents. In the same time, a lot of mutual trade between China and the USA will take place, and I think President also China will visit USA in coming September, and this is will reflect positively to the diplomatic relation between the two countries. I hope in all the key countries in the world working together in order to stop the war between Iran and USA and open the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
And
Doctor, to what extent are you optimistic about this, about reaching a solution and reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and to what extent can Iran endure the sanctions?
I think Iran now is very weak military, and they face a lot of challenges in the economic situation, because Iran every day lose more than $500 million needed as a losses needed to the closing of the Strait of Hormuz. And I hope Iran, a normal citizen, make a pressure to Iranian military force and to Iranian leaders to accept the negotiation and diplomatic way to solve the problem. instead of escalation of the war, because if there is an escalation between USA and Israel and Iran in war, Iran will lose infrastructure related to the energy sector and related to the electricity and water also. And I hope the Iranian citizens to be more wisdom and make a pressure against the Iran government in order to accept stopping the war and stop the nuclear power file for the coming 20 years, as President Donald Trump say in the airplane after he finished the China summit. A lot of objective related should critical decision should be taken from Iran, and Iran should be hurry up in order to take the decision of stop war instead of the escalation of the war in the Middle East, because all of us will be in a very bad position if Iran open fire again against USA or Israel.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ahmad Khattab, the political analyst, for being with us and for your information and insight. And thank you, everyone, for watching.